The World Stage is a painting project that allows me to expand portrait making outside of the city streets in America, where I traditionally have been working, and go to different nations throughout the world and use models who are sourced from off of the street. Part of the reason why I've done that has a lot to do with the project that I was working on before. Much of my work was portraits of young African-American men from cities like Los Angeles, Brooklyn, where I would approach complete strangers and ask them to take on the poses of very powerful old Western European paintings. And in some ways, I started a conversation about power. There's a reason why I chose each location that I did. I think by and large what I was considering were certain social and global political patterns. Who were the big players who were changing the face of how we consume things, how we see ourselves, and what we might consider global supply chain issues. And it was from that place that I started. I actually went to the streets of Brooklyn to find models who then took on the poses of social realist posters of the Mao years. Much of what I tried to do in the Africa paintings was to look at not only interesting images, but images that occupy a very strong public presence. And in that sense, a lot of those were portraits of military generals, portraits of formal colonial masters, but also portraits that were envisioned by many of these nations as ways of picturing themselves after independence. I'm asked many times, why does this work concentrate primarily on men? By and large, the absence of women is the normal state within the history of art, and the reasons having to do with misogyny, empire, the construction of power being the sole territory of powerful men. In my work, I'm in some ways taking on that form as a means of critiquing it, embodying it as a means of walking past it. I do a lot of game playing during the day of the photo shoot. Generally, I'll invite the models to come to the studio the same day that we found them in the streets. Sometimes I'll invite them to come the following day, where we'll invite them to bring several outfits, and we'll play with this idea of the authentic moment. After the models are invited to the studio, they're photographed, and then those photographs are digitally altered in such a way that the colors are heightened, elements are removed. What you end up with is an object that's, in some ways, never existed before. It's a type of non-truth. That type of fantasy is in stark opposition to, I think, the desire to see an almost anthropological truth when looking at peoples from other countries. We assume a type of anthropological gaze, one that presupposes that this is how those people live, and we're looking at this through a very scientific lens.
Non, mon sa vrai âge. ñaata nga
12 ans.
15 wala 12 jawdi.
Non, 12 ans.
15 ans nga jëkkoon. 15.